For more on the story, let's bring in David Otto, who joins me now from Yaoundé in Cameroon. He's the director of the Geneva Centre for Africa Studies, Security and Strategic Studies. David, good to have you on the show. I know that you were listening to the news story. The Spanish Prime Minister there saying that this was an organized attack by the mafia. I mean, how much of a role are human trafficking gangs playing in all this?
I mean, human trafficking gangs have played a massive role. But, first of all, this is, a devastating sight. Very shocking to see how these migrants have been treated, by the authorities in Morocco, but also by the response from Spain. I mean, this is clearly a double standard in terms of how human beings are being treated, from one country to another. We've seen how people from other countries like Ukraine have been welcomed by the European Union. But these are human beings that are suffering the same impact of war, the same impact of poverty, the cause of the climate change. So, they should be treated the same. But, it's just a call. African Union has to wake up, and make a decision how it intends to deal with, its European counterparts, but specifically investigate and see what the role that Morocco has played in what we've seen so far.
I think sort of your description of this hypocrisy is spot on, and we've tried to cover it a lot here on TRT World. You mentioned the African Union. We know that they're calling for an immediate investigation. But the fact of the matter is that relations between the AU and Morocco haven't been all that good.
Of course, they haven't had a great relation, but this is where I think the entire continent has to stand up, and have a dialogue with Morocco. We cannot see this kind of treatment coming from anyone, more so an African country like Morocco. So I think there is more to do here. In terms of how the African Union is going to approach this. But this is devastating. I mean, it just reminds us of the days of slavery. Look at the way that they're treated, as if they are inhumans. And it's a condemnable incident, and an investigation must be carried out.
Mm-hmm. Do you expect at all the European strategy in terms of dealing with this Africa migration crisis, whether it's across the Mediterranean Sea, across the Aegean Sea, or into the enclaves in North Africa, to change at all?
I don't think so. I don't think it will change. This is why I insist and emphasize that African nations must wake up and understand and see and understand how they're being treated by other European states. This is not a matter for the European Union to deal with, but much more a matter for the African Union to wake up and protect its own citizens. It's high time that we give the interests of our citizens the priority and forget about trying to rely on other countries in the European Union to deal with this.
Mm. All right, David Otto, live for us from Yaoundé in Cameroon. Thank you very much for joining us here on the NewsHour.